Hello, everyone. Welcome to this podcast. Today, we have a very special guest. We have Naman from NodeOps with us, who is joining in this podcast and who will be sharing a bit about his Web3 journey, NodeOps initial journey, the kind of success they had in the initial past few quarters, and also their upcoming plans in this year. Welcome to this podcast, Naman.
Thank you so much, Pratik. I'm excited to be here. It's always great to chat with you in person as well, and looking forward to this.
Awesome. Naman, let's get quick started. Before diving into NodeOps, we would love our viewers to understand your Web3 background and ultimately how the experience that you had, led to this creation of NodeOps.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been in Web3 since 2017. I started initially with products across payment layer, infrastructure around payment, tapped into enterprise side of use cases, worked with some automobile industries to build out like a micro payment, use cases. One of them was, patented. So I was deep into research since my university days. Got to hear BTC first time in like 2015 or something. Started like researching a bit more, submitted and filed a couple of research papers as well. And 2021 tapped into Cosmos ecosystem, was part of app chain, more focused towards liquid staking initially. Later on, I got introduced to this entire new concept of nodes, validators when we were working with foundations, when we were working with other validators as well during this journey. Was bullish on the entire modular app thesis and the concept of app chains overall, and the role of nodes, role of operators, and role of compute there. And that's when it struck that why don't we simplify it for everyone to become like a node operator and participate in this entire decentralized economy. And yeah, that's how NodeOps started. Our first tagline was simplifying the life for node operators. And then we ventured into building out an entire AI powered playground, which was more focused towards developers who are looking to get started with building on any particular foundation, where we kind of containerize the entire sandbox environment for them. And all they have to do is just sign in with their email. They can access the entire templates, play around with it, work around, and versions are out of control, ensuring that they are not exposed to any vulnerabilities. Like we built that playground, participated with I think two or three different foundations via community-driven grant route. Um, Delivered it, received the first grant, and that's when like we decided that let's scale it up as a business. When we got an opportunity to work with a couple of more institutional partners as well. That's when we thought of how about we build out the entire product that enables anyone to come in and deploy their nodes. And that's basically what NodeOps console is today, which is popularly known in the market for its node as a service offering, where we are catering to more than 110K active users, um, generated close to 2.5 mil revenue for 2024. Till now, till date, we've cracked in a total of 3.8 mil revenue. And that's what kept us growing. It started with a small team of three members, along with me, two co-founders, Pratik and JD, and that's how like the journey started. And we expanded the team to like 25 odd members today, and distributed globally. Uh, raised our seed round of 5 mil. I think in April 2024. This was when we were already doing seven figures in revenue. And yeah, it just helped us to bootstrap initially, helped us to be laser focused with our vision, which is always going to be to stick to fundamentals, which is revenue, which is actually solving certain problems that an end user might require. rather than focusing on APRs, TBLs, and all the nitty-gritties that involve. So yeah, been laser focused towards it. Fast forward 2025 January, we decided that how about we scale up our offerings by serving both the side of marketplace, dual side marketplace for demand and supply as well. When I say supply, it's more around compute, where we can onboard more and more decentralized set of compute providers with us. And when it comes to demand, like expanding our offerings. So yeah, we quickly transition towards NodeOps network as a foolproof compute orchestration layer that can let anyone come in, leverage the compute, provide the compute for any form of workloads that they can focus on, because we had a added advantage of couple of products already existing, like console, like templates deployment, like now we recently launched security hub. Like things were more focused towards just distribution and wider scale. And that's when we work with our ecosystem partners. Good relationships with foundations and partners have helped us to scale a lot. And yeah, NodeOps network on our testnet in first 3 to 4 months itself had around you know 4 million wallets connecting. We had like 7 DDoS attack. We had like Sybils were done because there was some incentive set up, but fortunately we were able to track it down, hunt it down, like literally suspend them from accessing even the portal as well. And today, like we're able to filter out and have like almost 700K users so far on that testnet, close to 70 to 80,000 providers with us, onboarding their compute and receiving the workloads and receiving the revenue share. So yeah, that's something that we did. And yeah, now gearing up for our protocol mainnet launch next month. And yeah, excited to be working with stronger foundations and partners for it. So yeah, right now team is heads down, gearing up for the mainnet, and yeah, everything revolving around it, be it partnerships, be it some ecosystem initiatives that we're going to run, be it our future product offerings that is set to release in next 4 to 6 weeks. And yeah, like going out with a banger marketplace out there that has each and every bits and pieces that node operators, developers, compute providers, and even like an end user who wants to be in either of these three buckets can consume. So yeah, that's what we're up to right now.
Amazing. I think you covered most of the points. It was a very, very elaborative, sort of journey, and how NodeOps, actually started, and where it is today, and some staggering numbers as well. So Naman, I'll most probably deep dive into few key questions where our listeners would be able to understand how NodeOps function at the backend, and how this thing is. So first of it is more on the tech part of it. So the description of NodeOps, what you give is AI powered deep in orchestration layer. So can you explain, in on the grassroots level, how, what does it take, to streamline all these node deployments, and how does the backend, process works together to ensure that, users are like, relaxed, and, entire things are streamlined by you guys?
Right, that's a very good question. So, like, at a high level, if you look at the actors involved here, right, you have, starting from the first stage where the user is going to come in, they would first select the type of compute, type of node that they want to deploy, and then the decision is in terms of what type of compute it would need, right? The way backend would eventually function is based on those two actions from end user. That is it, right? If they're selecting particular workload that needs to be deployed, we move from there, get the hardware bin provisioned and allocated to them to ensure that we have a sufficient amount of compute that can cater to that workload needs. Once that has been scheduled, once that has been picked, the workload gets scheduled on that compute via our entire, we call it like order management system, which is on chain. Once this is done, The job would be to actually schedule that workload onto that machine via our containerization pipeline. So that's where the orchestration part comes in, where the templates that's been prepared internally by our engineering and DevSecOps team, like that has now been called as one of the processes to be deployed on this compute. And then once the deployment is successful, it takes like a minute or two to get this entire coordination in place. That's why we call it orchestration layer, because you have an end user paying for the service. That's the payment module. Then you have the order module. Then you have the scheduler, and then you have the orchestrator that's going to coordinate across the board, right? And once this is done, then you have a verifier as well, a verification layer on top that ensures that things are streamlined, do random checks, do calculate the, we call it node score. So node score is basically how the compute provider is performing on the basis of workloads when deployed on them. So like based on that score, if the score goes below certain threshold, providers are slashed, providers are penalized, and based on that, you move on to the next stage of like actually getting into the economics as well. Like what are the penalties for the providers? Like what are the incentives for them to keep these machines reliable and active as well? So this entire coordination is what we call the orchestration layer, because you need to orchestrate the entire life cycle across the board. Why deepen and why AI here? Again, not a buzzword, because we've been using the entire AI powered playground since like day one of when we started conceptualizing NodeOps. So we've actually plugged that in again with our latest offering, so that the entire monitoring, entire upgrades, are taking those necessary actions, like what are the recommendations for it. It's all internally running via some AI engines, and we don't call ourselves like agentic overall, because technically these agents are like Kubernetes agents that's been existing throughout the computer life cycle. It's not something that Web3 have invented in like last 2 years or so. It's more around the core concepts had already been there, and that's what we've been using. Why deepen now? Because till 2024, everything that we deployed was kind of distributed towards 7 different cloud providers that we used to use. Um, it was still centralized. There's all these components that I talked about, it was centralized. We took that bet that now would be the time for us to progressively decentralize towards certain aspects, and like let go of certain things on a trusted set of actors, be it compute providers, for verifiers, be it like node operators that can come in and help us bootstrap the entire network by bringing in like a reliable compute supply. That is why today, like NodeOps is the general purpose compute out there in form of NodeOps network that can support any form of workloads that you need, be it running ML simulations, be it running distributed computing, be it running agents, be it running nodes, be it maintaining your test nets, RPCs around it, indexers around it, like whatever use cases you could think of, we are supporting that overall. And a lot of things are actually not open for anyone to come in and deploy. It's like case to case basis, because you also need to ensure that there is a good amount of balance between this demand supply here, because we kind of have the utilization rate of like close to 80 to 85% today for everything that we have deployed, and testnet is like fully bombarded with like close to 99% utilization rate, and that's not an ideal stage to be. And that's why like now we are focusing more on just expanding our supply with stronger reliable partners as well. So far it was CPU as our core focus, but now with like huge demand coming towards us from GPU side, we have decided that we'll work with like stronger deepened partners out there that have been literally working on GPU as a service, or working on the AI advanced computation side as well. So looking forward to working closely with them, because our intent is like we don't want to focus on having our own hardwares or bringing our own supply at our end. Like would love to work with partners, which essentially has done this for a while, and like it would be complementary offerings across both the sides, because it's going to be a win-win for both. So yeah, that's basic understanding of what that entire tagline means.
Got it. Thanks, Naman, for deep diving into it. When I spoke to a lot of users, and there's a genuine love feeling, about these users towards the NodeOps product, right? And I think it all started with your one-click deployment, which could be, done across, different, sort of blockchain networks. And a lot of these users are also non-tech, I mean, not very highly technical, where they have to, think of it. So I think amazing work on, that sort of one-click node deployment, sort of strategy. The other part also, Naman, was the NodeOps console, right? I think you're working with a lot of diverse protocols like Ether, X protocol, high chain, and stuff. So there's a lot of compatibility, that you need to ensure, to process it that. So how does all, these things work at the backend again?
Yeah, so interestingly, like a lot of these things are like having, I'm not getting like 7 different layers of monitoring and verification. I won't get into each of those, but like the entire brain of our Pratik, the DevOps guy, my co-founder with me, like he's got that entire mind map of certain things in terms of how the architecture should look like at a highly scalable level. Because these guys are like the entire engineering team that we built, like they're coming from a traditional, SaaS background, serving like billions of requests per hour, not per day, like per hour as well. To certain cases, like coming from like standard e-commerce background, like Flipkart, Gojek, um, working with like these large scale enterprises have given them the expertise to actually optimize to an extent, because even with like use cases like NodeOps, the target users are still like, it's not like millions of users at all. We are not running towards those metrics. It's always going to be like 200k, 300k users that are consistently using your products. Like that's the goal. And when we do that, like one of the most important aspect is like ensuring that there is no downtimes, ensuring that there is no fuck ups during the upgrades. There had been incidents where like Pratik was literally scared to an extent that we had like a panic mode overall. If I could recollect, it's only twice that has happened so far throughout like last 4 to 5 years of working together with him as well. And yeah, like what happens in the backend is, this entire orchestration bit that I talked about, like that's actually been implemented at a DevOps level where you get the initial provisioning of actual compute nodes in place, understand what type of workloads are coming in. There is a matchmaking algorithm that takes care of ensuring that it's not like still like concentrated only on one particular computer, one particular provider, like you distribute it across. So there is an entire concept of like having this distributed node score derivation. So node score derivation is where like you have a huge reliability on this compute providers to respond whenever asked, and that's why we have that entire verification there on top. So um, every day you have a score been calculated, that's been benchmarked, and then like the workload is scheduled. So all these protocols, they have like a completely different set of binaries, different set of software. And what we have to do is first get understanding of that software, how to actually set it up. Once that is set it up, then you have to think about running it on your own first. Once you've done that, then you move towards, okay, now we are ready to templatize it, to offer it to the end users to just have a one-click layer. So once that one click is clicked, actually, there are like huge amount of steps been taken in the backend, and all of it happens in like less than a minute's time right now. And you wouldn't believe what we recently introduced it. We announced it yesterday, but it was live for last 3 days. A security hub, and a security hub is basically your AI powered, like literally scanner for your code bases and OSS repositories that you are currently using or might be using, and getting notifications for it. So we've been working with a lot of AWS's team and Eigenlayer team, and as well, Eigenlayer Authentic and a couple of AWS's as well, to actually help them understand how to use this tool at the fullest. because what's happening in the backend is literally going through the entire CVs, that vulnerabilities that exist out there, tracking it, using our engines, AI engines, to actually come up with the report, presenting that report to the end users, giving them the fixes as well. So this automatically gives you certain recommendations and fixes if your code bases are exposed. And have you fixed it? If you fixed it, you have like rescan scheduled every 10 minutes, every 15 minutes, which you can configure, right? So in that way, all the users of these ABSs or all the users of these code bases, they should not be the last one to be knowing about, there is a potential breach and then losing the financials and getting exposed to hacks and breaches. They should be the first one to know that. So our next step now would be, how do we leverage our existing compute to offer it as like literally toggle, select what dApps you or what applications or what wallets or what type of services do you use in your day-to-day life in Web3. Select that and just turn on the notification. So every time there is a new vulnerability coming in, you would be the first one to get notified, and you can now start working on the next steps that you need to do. It may be getting out of that app. It may be, ensuring that you're safeguarded. It might be false alarm in certain cases. So we have to ensure that you're notified that this is a false alarm. You can ignore as well. So like, yeah, all of these things would be like super, super important to actually bring in how to leverage compute. It's like use cases like these would actually help you understand like what happens at a compute level for scanning like 10,000 lines of code as well, and how the process looks like, how long does it take, is it reliable, are you sharing that confidential data with anyone, like how are you ensuring you have like a trusted execution environment there. Like there are a lot of pieces that's been taken care of in the backend as well. So yeah.
Got it. Amazing stuff. I mean, yeah, it's very hard for users to visualize, how things happen at the back end, but I think it's the core, dev teams, which actually makes this magic happens, and have those strategies, whatever marketing strategies are put out there, conveyed very, very efficiently. So amazing stuff. Now, moving on towards the vision, right? I mean, I see a lot of in-depth planning on all the aspects whatever NodeOps team has been doing in past few quarters. So how is the strategy designed? Is it more around, okay, now we are at say $1 million revenue, how do we go 3x about it? Are you guys planning out some numbers, say at the end of 2025, we want to reach there, in a couple of years down the line we want our revenue to hit here? Also, how is the positioning, because I think the crypto markets, we've seen a lot of waves coming in all together. So are you guys sticking out, looking out for new sort of avenues or stuff that can come in, or are you guys focusing more on the product, more on the users, and then building and not caring about how the outer reflects in? Yeah.
Okay, interesting one. I keep on getting this. Like there is a good thread that's been out as well in terms of understanding why we quickly move towards NodeOps network overall. So look, like Web3 is like very quick in terms of what's the demand from the market overall, right? And you have to be receptive towards it, and you also have to respect the timings towards it as well. So if you look at our journey for 2024, we were heads down building and expanding and scaling our console to the fullest. 2025, like we took that bet in terms of expanding our offerings as well, and that's why you see the products that are live today, be it security hub, be it staking hub, be it templates, be it cloud, be it console, like expanded beyond. That's why the revenue numbers have also increased as well. So that quick, decision in terms of expanding the offerings, shipping it out, selling it, getting the business out of it, it takes time, right? And like we're not like 1,000 members team or like 100 members team, even like it's still like 25 members team max working with us. And the important aspect for us who are all the contributors since day one towards NodeOps network that have helped us tremendously in doing that early validation and helping us to like survey the market a bit better so that we can take those calculative calls as well. So for the first 5 months of till today, like till 2025, like starting from Jan till today, like we've expanded those offerings, ensured that every alternate week there is a new release that's going out, and there is a new feature that's going out, and we consistently keep on shipping so that we can experiment and try certain things as well. Markets were really not good for first 3 months in this year, right? And we still were receptive towards it. Even for last 30 days, we've almost done like half a mil revenue. That's the largest we've ever done in 30 days annualized revenue so far. And the reason for that was expansion of the products, because once you expand, you get more interest coming in and more partners keen to work closely with you to like have a complementary services here, and then we distribute and scale. Now, what's coming next is June. That we're definitely doing the mainnet launch. No matter what happens, like we have everything ready to go in pre-mainnet stage by end of this month. We take a month to try and simulate and keep things ready. We've been doing like economic simulations, our thesis simulations, our demand supply simulations for like last 6 months or so. When we decided to take this call for expansion of our offerings, and now would be the time to actually present it out as a case studies as well. So yeah, like that would be the game plan for June. There are some more initiatives, so we would very soon be announcing build on NodeOps campaign as well. So this initiative is like not to run a standard grant program or not to run a standard ecosystem fund program. It's more around you build the product, get your first $100 revenue, and we fund you. So like we've set up the entire pool for it, which is gonna be in stables to ensure that we are not like just giving out tokens once we launch, and like just getting that backfire from developers, that we just need stables to work upon it. So that there would be an entire marathon of build on NodeOps campaigns across the board, where we would work with partners to get wider adoption towards it as well, such as chains, where if someone wants to deploy on base, we can work with base team and ensure that this product is delivered and deployed on base overall. And yeah, like we keep on supporting them across to ensure that they cross the finishing line as well and get that first couple of bucks as revenue coming in. Like for for team like NodeOps, we've been like I keep on reiterating this multiple times. Like we've been product first, demand first, revenue first, and the vision is to actually have build on NodeOps in similar way, where we always remain like product first, demand first, and revenue first. And anyone who would like to work on this, like they need to have that mindset as well. Yes, we won't get like thousands of applications or thousands of small, products when built. Like having 5 to 7 working products actually generating revenue and fees, I win the game. Like that's the overall vision, at least till end of the year. And meanwhile, we do this. Yes, we would eventually be at a stage where we would double down on our revenue. Even right now, like if you look at Ninja as well, we're still like at rank 2 in terms of revenue as of today when we are recording this, and that's itself is a milestone for us personally, because yes, if we do the projections by 2025, if we're able to hit 6 to 7 mil, we've already doubled down on our year-on-year growth of revenue. So there is no ambition to like lock in 100 mil revenue by end of the year. Like we like to be realistic. We like to be really pessimistic in terms of what's gonna happen and let the numbers speak. And yeah, now would be the time to make some noise around what NodeOps network mainnet launch would look like.
Amazing stuff. Naman, as we are coming to the end of the podcast, one last question about numbers. I think everyone in crypto loves the numbers. You guys had an amazing fundraise in the past where you raised 5 million. What are this year plan for NodeOps? Are you planning to have another round, or going for a token launch? And I mean, the community is really excited to see, when this will be launched and when, it will be live in action.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to say a lot of things, but yeah, like we we might launch very soon. Node as a token, like it's not something that we have not disclosed. It's already out in terms of how to use it as well. We experimented that with like a very dynamic model of converting token to credits, credits being our products economy today. And node to credits acting like a very dynamic conversion model, which we gamified, understanding the effects and how the community reacts to it. Some stats for you, like we are running it for 60 days. I don't remember like what state is today, but so far there had been close to 400k worth of conversion been done by close to 2,500 users only, because we did a small airdrop to our loyal users since day one at end of the year 2024. And till now, like the only way that they can use that was on our products and platforms, so that it actually helps them to understand the utility first. So now it's going to be like the tagline would be more around revenue first, utility first, and then token to come in as well. Like that's the game plan. Fundraise wise, actively in conversations as well. Let's see how that shapes up. But yeah, like we might launch very soon, but from the token side, let's see.
Amazing. Thanks, Naman. It was lovely chatting with you on your journey, on NodeOps initial journey, the big vision, and hopefully upcoming token launch. And more interesting, how the revenue multiples happen. More interesting how the user stickiness happen. And I mean, it's fascinating to see a team which is glued towards the actual fundamental things rather than the other noises. So it's amazing. We wish NodeOps the best, and hopefully we see much more success stories coming out in next quarter. Thanks for coming in on the podcast.
Thank you so much. Absolutely loved the conversation, Pratik, and I've been following everything that you personally and Levitate Labs is doing as well. So kudos on all the progress so far. Absolutely here to contribute and partner in any way we can as well. So looking forward to more synergies where we get to work with Build on NodeOps along with Levitate Labs to expand and get some amazing founders and builders working with us as well. So yeah, thanks for having me here.
Thank you.